Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 11 products that I used to grab for all the time, and now just all of a sudden I have stopped using them. I was thinking about video ideas last night, and I love talking about things that I'm currently reaching for, like, my favorite palettes that I'm reaching for, my favorite foundations, powders, everything, just things that I'm using right now and loving. And I started to think about things that I used to absolutely love, and I would use them, almost on a daily basis. And I can't even really remember when I have used them last. Before I get into this video, I want to preface it by saying that all of these products I still recommend. I do still like them. I have not fallen out of love with them. I just don't use them like I used to. And I think that it's just as interesting to see what I'm currently using as it is to see the things that, maybe I used to use all the time, but I'm not grabbing for anymore. Some of these might really surprise you, and maybe some of them won't. But let's go ahead and get into the list. And I'm going to start out with a doozy. You guys, I don't think you're going to be expecting this because it's one of my absolute holy grail foundations. And like I said, I still love this product. I know that there's going to be a time where I'm going to start reaching for it again, but there was another foundation that came out that kind of stole its place a little bit, and it's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I love this stuff. It stays in place like nobody's business. I'm combo. I love this during the summer. I don't find it to look cakey on my skin. I just love it. And there was a time where I would use this just about every single day. And then I think what happened to this was this foundation, the Tarte Face Tape Foundation. Something about this one just lays on my skin just a tad bit better than what this one does. And like I said, I still love this, but I think that I love this one just a little bit more. And I can't even believe that I'm saying that, but I've just noticed that unless I think about it, unless I go to my drawer and pick this up, it's not something that I think about. Whereas it used to be in my top drawer. It used to be just like one of those that I just grabbed for, and I would repeat purchase it all the time. But I have repeatedly purchased this one. As you can see, yeah, we're more than halfway through this one. So yeah, double wear. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I have not picked this up in a hot minute, and I feel as though the face tape might have just taken it over. But I still think that I'm going to end up picking this up again, just probably not soon. This one doesn't hurt my feelings quite as much because it's so expensive. And I love this product, but if I don't have to keep repurchasing it, then, my wallet's happy, that kind of thing. This is the Double Tensure Instant and Long-Term Skincare and Primer in one. I can't tell you how many times I have raved about this product, and I still think that it is amazing. I think that what did this in was the Silk Canvas and then also the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Primer. This one is a completely different thing though, so it's strange to me to think that those products took this one over, but I just found that I started to put this away. And I only have just a tiny bit left in here, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use it up so that I can put it into my empties, but I'm not going to repurchase it right now. I still love the way that this makes my skin look, but I am all about my TATCHA Silk Canvas, my Hydra Primer from By Terry, and then you guys know I've been going on and on about this one recently, the Starlight Rose Youth Glow Elixir. This one's a little bit more on like the tacky side, so it really grips onto your makeup and it's hydrating. It's wonderful. So consistency wise, it's nothing like the other primers that I've been using, but I don't know if it's a change in my skin or what's going on, but I just haven't been picking this up. You guys haven't been seeing this in my description box, nearly as much as what it used to be. And something else that used to be in my description box a lot, not as recent as the Double Tensure, but it's something along the same line. So if you wanted something that was going to work kind of like the Double Tensure, the J1 Jelly Pack. This thing, you can like go like tap your face and you will see it stick to your face. This holds on your makeup so well. And again, very hydrating. This is one of those that truly works as a primer for longevity. If you can't find anything that's going to hold onto your makeup, this will. One that has kind of given this a little bit of a run for its money is the one from Milk Makeup, the Hydro Grip or something like that. I don't remember. It's the green one. I have it over in my top drawer over there, but I haven't grabbed for this in quite a while. I think at this time it might actually be time for me to declutter it. I don't think this is something that I can go through. I think it might actually have gone bad, whereas I can finish up using this one, the J1 Jelly Pack. It might just need to be tossed. Let's move on to a lip product, and I think we all have Jaclyn Hill to blame for this one, the Sugar Gloss from Marc Jacobs. I used to be ride or die for this gloss, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but mine has turned like this weird color, and I thought at first, so if I go like this, it will kind of come back to a little bit more of that pinky nude. Like can you see the difference right here? And then right here, the color difference is very strange. I thought that it was because I used to have my lipstick and gloss holders up here. The sunlight doesn't come all the way through my curtains, but it still comes through. So I thought maybe it was discoloring it that way, but I got another one and it did the same thing. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. It does take a little bit of time for that to happen, but it is something that happens no matter if I have it in a drawer or if I have it out. But that's not the problem. The gloss is beautiful. Even whenever it ends up turning this weird color on the outside, I feel like whenever you put it on, you can see it still ends up being this beautiful color. I just think I have, gotten so many more glosses that I really love. And one of them is this one from Tom Ford. It's what I have on right now. I picked up the wrong one. This is the color Aura. I love the formula of this, and it's just a little bit more pink than this one. This one's truly nude, and I really love the color of this one. And I was really liking the Pat McGrath ones, and I just think that Sugar kind of fell off the radar for me. Again, not a product that I don't like. I don't know that I would repurchase it though. This is one that's on the list that I think that I might be able to just live without, whereas I have repurchased it in the past. I even have a little mini one that I would carry around in my purse. But I think that it's just kind of like, okay, it's had its time. This one truly bothers me. Like, I don't even want to say this because I love this palette. It is the palette that really got me into NARS palettes again. It's the palette that made me just start to re-fall in love with NARS because I felt like NARS was putting out things that just weren't as great. And from what I understand, this is the palette that they had changed their formula in. It's like the very first one. It's the NARS Loaded palette. I still love this, but I think that, when you have as many palettes as I do, sometimes you can kind of forget about other ones or fall more in love with other palettes, and I'm not going to give this away. This is definitely something that I know I'm going to end up picking up again. I remember wearing this to work all the time when I worked at Nordstrom and people asking me what it was, and it was sold out for the longest time. This palette is so beautiful. It's also when I used to wear more warm tones, and this one is cool and warm, which is something that I really love. Everything in this palette works so well. I could create the eye look that I have on right now with this palette. So I don't want to say, that I'm not going to use this again. I absolutely will, but I can't tell you the last time that I picked this one up. But it has so many memories. And in case you're wondering what I have on my eyes today, it is a new one from Tom Ford. I picked up all 5 of the new palettes. This is the De La Creme. So I definitely think that I could have, achieved the same look with this palette, but this is the one that I am wearing today. And I'm also doing an all-day wear test of this foundation right here, the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. I'm about to go to Pilates right after I film this, and I was like, perfect time to do a wear test. But anywho, back to the video. The next thing I want to talk about is the P. Louise base. So this is back when it first came out. I don't know if you guys can see again, like there's almost nothing in here. I used this up. I was using it consistently. I loved it, but I did have to set it. I know a lot of people liked it for cut creases, and it's really great for a cut crease, especially if you want a really tacky base to hold your whatever you're putting on your lid for a cut crease. It's wonderful for that. The Anastasia Beverly Hills primer, though, has just completely taken its place. I don't have to set the Anastasia one, whereas this one I always just took MAC Blanc type and I put it right over it. This replaced I think I was using Tarte Shape Tape before this, and then also the Soft Ochre Paint Pot. So this took the place of those, but then the Anastasia primer took the place of this one, and I'm just so much happier with the Anastasia one because I don't have to set it. Everything works well on top of it. I get everything to blend out. Mattes work really well, metallics go really well on top of it, and I can cut out my brows. It's a really strange thing because this one can look more hydrated. It's a little thicker. This, I do believe, comes in more colors now, and they even have like blues and pinks and all these different colors. So if you're doing a colorful eye look, you can really make them pop, which is really cool. Still think this is a great product, but shoot, that Anastasia one is everything for me. But as I was saying, sometimes it looks like it's kind of dry on my eyes, and I go over top of it with shadow and then it's smooth again. I don't know how it does it. It's the strangest thing, but I love the Anastasia primer. Let's go on to concealer. I really didn't think anything was going to take this place. Usually when I get on board with a concealer, I'm on board with it for a while. I remember I almost said NARS. I was on the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer for a long time, and then I loved the Urban Decay Naked Skin. I love the Studio Studio something 24 hour from Smashbox. Think Mel. But this one, and then the Tarte Shape Tape. Oh my gosh. Of course, Tarte Shape Tape. This is what knocked Tarte Shape Tape out of the running. It was just like all of a sudden I started just realizing that I wasn't using the Tarte Shape Tape anymore, and I absolutely fell in love with this. And this is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I just don't pick up this concealer anymore, and it's insanity to me because this one was so good to me, but I feel like I didn't end up using it as long, and it's absolutely Giorgio Armani's fault. I've been using Giorgio Armani Power Fabric for at least a year now because I was doing my 2019 favorites video, and I had to go back and look to see when I started using the Power Fabric, and it was the beginning of 2019, so a year strong with that Giorgio Armani, and nothing has beat it yet. I know there's an Hourglass one, I believe, coming out the day that I am filming this, so I'm gonna try that out. But yeah, the Giorgio Armani just took over, and this was a really good one. It's still a really good one. It's still one that I would suggest. I feel so bad because I feel like I'm saying, oh, I don't like these products anymore, and it's just, that's not the case. It's just I don't pick them up like I used to. Something else I do not pick up like I used to is a bronzer from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think these bronzers are beautiful. I think they did an amazing job with them. This is the shade Rosewood. They had so many different shades. I feel like they blend out on my skin very nicely. They're matte. They're just gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. But then I found several more. I finally got on the Hoola train, and I do still pick that one up. I know you don't see it in my description box a lot, but I'm still picking up Hoola and Hoola Light. I love mixing them, especially now that my tan is starting to go away. I really like mixing them. And then the Fenty, I feel like Fenty is kind of what made this one get put into my drawers instead of my top drawer, because this was in my top drawer for a long time. But when the Fenty bronzers came out, it's just something, I think it was the color that was the biggest difference for me, but both of them are amazing. Again, I would still suggest it, but I don't remember the last time I put that on my face. NARS again. Give me a second, because I thought I was going to have to repurchase this. I was ready to repurchase this because hello, hole. This is NARS Madly. Come on, you guys know how often I wore NARS Madly. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes, and it still is. There's no way, like if this goes bad before I end up getting a new one, I am going to repurchase this because I know that there's going to be a time that I pick this back up, but I'm not right now. And I will tell you, let me pull out this palette. I've talked about this in my favorites. Their recent Overlust palette is absolute perfection. So let me show you these side by side. You can see this shade right here. It's just, to me, just a little bit better than this one. So if this shade came out in a single, which, okay, they have come out with new singles and I have bought 2. There's one that's already sold out. I'm like, I gotta find it somewhere, but I've already purchased 2 new NARS blushes because I'm so in love with these. But I will say that if this were to come out as a single, I probably wouldn't buy NARS Madly again, because I love this shade so much. That's what I have on my skin right now. NARS Madly is kind of like MAC Gingerly for me. Just, if you have watched me that long, back when I used to wear MAC Gingerly every single day, comment down below if you were a part of the Gingerly days. Just comment down below. I do have one more blush, and it is from Chanel. You guys might be thinking one because you haven't seen it in the description box, but it's not that one. This is Golden Sun. I remember getting this and just loving it, absolutely loving it. And I do still like it, but I do not grab for this. It's something that, like, when I shop my stash, I will grab for it, but I don't remember the last time that I picked this up. It's such a beautiful color. I love Chanel blushes, and you know, those nude shades, just, they get me. Nudes, coral, stuff like that, I absolutely love. But if you were thinking, Mel, you haven't been wearing Chanel Elegance, I have. But I've been doing it a little bit more so off camera because I think that they discontinued this. I could be wrong. And do you see the hole in this bad boy? Do you see this? Yeah. I'm so glad that I have a backup of this because this is one of my favorite blushes of all time. I am still using this, so I just wanted to throw this in there in case anybody's like, but I haven't seen you wear that. It's not that I don't wear it. It's that I can't find it to link it, and I think that it's been discontinued, which is heartbreaking. But I do have another one, so I'm glad that I have that. All right, I think we have just one more product to go. I left this product for last just because this might be a repeat topic for some of you, but I know that not everybody watches every single video that I put out, so I wanted to make sure to include this primer, and it is from Tarte. You guys, if you watch and you look and you see in my description box, I used to have the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer in my description box every single day right beside Skin Refine Zone from MAC. I still use Skin Refine Zone every single day, but I'm using my Milk Makeup Blur Stick, which I have absolutely no issues with. I love this thing so much. You see, I'm already climbing on up here with that. I use that one every single day now. This one, I really, really liked it because it was just a little bit thicker, but it went smooth on my skin. The problem is they have changed the formula and I end up turning into a greasy mess. This feels just a little bit more silicone-esque. And while it still smooths out the pores really nicely initially, everything looks really great in the beginning, throughout the day, I start getting super shiny on my pores, and then I can kind of get that, you know, sunken in makeup type of look whenever I use this new formula. And it's very sad. I wish that they had at least told me before they did this. I found out through a subscriber. They're like, hey, just FYI. So when I purchased another one, I checked the ingredients. Yes, they are different. You guys might be wondering why I still have this particular one, because if you saw the video when I got this one, it literally fell out in my hand and I was like, what happened? So I had to order another one, and I ordered a mini. That's how I started using it and testing it out to see if I liked it. I'm only keeping this because I really like the packaging and I know that I'm going to be able to put something in here later. so I'm just not worried about it. But yeah, that one's done, and that is an actual done. I wouldn't suggest it because I don't like the formula anymore. If you have truly large pores, I think it would still work. If you know, you want a little bit of smoothing, oil isn't an issue for you, then it probably still would work for you. But for me, I get very oily in my T-zone, and I do have rather large pores if I don't do everything possible to make them appear as small as possible. So I will not be repurchasing that one. And that's the one thing that I can say out of all of these products that I'm not going to reach for again, unless they happen to go back to their old formula. I'm not reaching for that again, whereas the rest of these I haven't reached for in a long time, but I would still suggest them. I still like them, but I just, you know, you go through this makeup journey and you end up, you know, finding new loves, and that's just kind of what happened. Let me know down below if there's some products in your collection that you're still holding on to, but you know that you have not used them in a hot minute, but at the same time you still love them, so you can't let them go. But anywho, that is it. I hope everybody had an extremely happy new year, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.